Hi, folks, and welcome. So, this is a week ahead reading. Today is Sunday. I'm going to say it's a timeless reading. I feel like when it goes into your feed, um, yeah, it's a message. There's a message for you in there. Um, Again, if anything we say here today isn't resonating for you, just move along. But otherwise, for this collective, we started with this card here, and this is on the back. It's number 5, the leaders. Affirmation. I know how to lead because I know what needs to be done. So I feel like members of this collective are either already in a leadership role or stepping into one. And that was confirmed here by the Queen of Feathers, or the Queen of Swords. So we have the bat who uses echolocation to see what's in their area. They have heightened perception and are able to see things that others don't. And I think it's because of this perception that you are considered a leader, whether this is at work or in a social group, in your community. Um, and there's also the astute kind of clarity where you can look at a situation and very logically, very sensibly come up with solutions that benefit the whole group and the whole project or mission, whatever it is that you're working on here. Um, this was confirmed. The air dragon came out for this week, helps you rise above earthly matters, communicate honestly, brings inspiration and hope, see life from a higher perspective. So we have a lot of air energy, and I think to be a leader, it requires that more cerebral, more logical, uh, uh, clear, succinct communication, the ability to see everything and everyone involved in a situation and make very clear decisions kind of unaffected by emotions a lot of the time. That air element, again, that's the cerebral element, that's your mind, your thought. So, being logical here. These two cards came out as well, and I think um, these I'll definitely be journaling about personally. um, So if you want to see the images, here we have this dragonfly with eyes in the wings, and there's kind of bubbles around. And this card is about freedom. And the dragonfly is also another symbol of transformation. Living freedom means living as you choose, with your wings and heart open, able to direct your reality as you want. The quest for freedom seems innate. You may picture freedom in its more extreme guises, but when we feel truly free, our lifestyles may not change drastically. Limitation can be a state of mind. The only change might be choosing to live a certain way rather than feeling obligated. A shift of perspective can help bring lightness and choice. In the bigger picture, what does freedom look like to you? If you are feeling stifled, it is up to you to make a change. So, again, in this leadership role, and here with the Queen of Swords, this might be taking leadership, taking ownership, and stepping into sovereignty, which came up last week, of our own lives. Um, Tapping in and seeing, what does freedom mean to us? It's something great to journal about. What does freedom mean to me? What does freedom feel like to me? Um, and to find that you can cultivate that inner sense of freedom that clarity, that centeredness, um, regardless of what's going on around you, regardless of any perceived limitations to your freedom. Freedom is a state of mind, freedom is a state of being. And then here we have evolution, which we have this incredible sea woman with this DNA helix coming through. Consider what evolution means to you. So that's another really great journal prompt. Is your evolution about growth, expansion, adaptation, success, or becoming a better version of yourself? Look for ways to flourish in the face of challenge. Break a problem down to its elements. Be creative and consider how you can make it more fun and inspiring. Alternatively, ask how you can learn, grow, and become stronger through what is happening for you. You may be pushed to greater and deeper learnings, and it might be an uncomfortable process. But the strength, growth, and wisdom that come from journeying through the eye of the storm and embodying this knowledge is something no teacher can show you. So, again, maintaining that firm, clear center. And again, whether this leadership is within our own lives or whether it's how we're dealing with certain situations, whether personally or at work, we want to be really clear. We want to be really clear about what we're looking to embody and experience and where we've come from. And then because there's so much air element here, I almost feel like there's this point, and it's confirmed here as well, that we want to make it more fun and inspiring. We want to make sure that we're showing ourselves, if we're in this air cerebral element and we have this leadership energy, we could be really hard on ourselves, really prone to anxiety, overthinking, making sure all the boxes are ticked and all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Are we still in Virgo? Is the sun still in Virgo? I would have to check. Um, but we want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. We're taking care of ourselves, and that we're being kind and warm to the people around us. So our families, our friends, our communities, the people we're working with, if we're in a leadership position, um, I think what makes a really good leader is being able to be firm and clear in your truth, to be able to rise above the situation, see what the best courses of action are, and delegate warmly. And also, when working with others, um, we need to appreciate that they have a different set of skill sets and talents, and that we want to show that we care. We want to show that we appreciate their role within this structure, within this family, within this community, within this workplace. Then we had eucalyptus come up. We needed some grounding energy with all this air, right? So I pulled the wisdom of the trees out. Um, so what we had is come out is eucalyptus, and I love there's the didgeridoo here, and this is all about having a positive attitude, and the apple is all about bounty, um, and sharing warmly. So I think we're being asked to balance all of this cerebral air leadership energy with some warmth and kindness. Um, having a good attitude and being generous. I'm going to read. Okay, so eucalyptus. Try to strike the right balance. Excuse me. Try to strike the right balance between overt enthusiasm and lack of interest. Throwing yourself headfirst into a new project seems exciting at the time, but could leave you with little room for maneuver later on. So, we're also being asked not to take on too much here. And it also says, I can show you how to live wisely and honestly by establishing balance in your life, in your attitude to the people around you. So we're all about coming into that leadership position, because I think I've seen this phrase circulating, we are the new ancestors. And, whether you've gone through your Saturn return or not, we're coming into adulthood, coming into responsibility. We're the ones now setting the precedent. What are we investing our attention in? What are we investing our energy in? What are we investing our monies in? Because we're, as this leadership, we're setting the example and finding clarity about who we are, what's important to us, and standing really firm from that center and making decisions from that center and behaving from that place of centeredness. And then for the apple, bless others with a full and open heart, not only when you feel affectionate toward them, but also when they annoy you. Anybody who's ever been in a leadership position knows that this will happen. But if you could continue to be gracious with folks, while still maintaining that center, um, that's the way to be. Let your actions reveal your sense of generosity, whether it is material, spiritual, or emotional. So, in this leadership position, as this Queen of Swords, this Queen of Feathers, this person of authority and centeredness and heightened perception, the bat is depicted here. I like to think, and we have the air dragon, helps you rise above earthly matters. I think of the birds soaring up in the sky and looking down, or being high up on the mountain and looking down, and having that perspective and being able to make really good decisions based on what you're seeing from a distance. And then to close it out for this week, we have the Dignity card, Dahlia and Orion. So as you go through these different processes, finding that center and standing in that center, we're in our dignity. Um, being proud of where we've come from, cultivating that place of center, that center of inner freedom, using our leadership abilities um, and our elevated perspective to make decisions that support our experience of freedom, that support our evolution, all while maintaining, a positive attitude, graciousness, generosity, compassion. Let's see what So we'll touch on the books for all of these. We'll start with dignity. Here we are. So dignity, we're going to skip. Dignity is not something that you need to learn, earn, or inherit. This card is a reminder that to be human is to be born into dignity. So that dignity is inherent. And dignity is also inherent in the people that might annoy you. So I think for these cerebral folks, and I can totally relate to this, is sometimes um, other people's sensitivities can be an oversight. So it's really important to kind of ground down and tap into your heart space, tap into that agape and that positive attitude, and be really kind and thoughtful with people. This is not a quality that can be taken from you, but is something our treatment of others can lack. So while a behavior, policy, or comment can be demeaning, it cannot belittle someone's human right to dignity. Remember, everyone comes with a right to be treated with kindness and respect. Regardless of the situation you find yourself in, know your place in the world and hold tight to your sense of worth and act with dignity. So from this place of leadership, I want to grab my selenite and like hold it like a sword, like the Queen of Swords in the traditional tarot. And she kind of has her hand out like this, like looking, surveying over the world. And I believe there's a butterfly on her throne. And it's very airy. There's lots of sky. But great questions to journal about. Do I always treat myself with dignity and uphold my self worth? When I feel someone is trying to take my dignity from me, and how can I resolve my feelings toward that situation? So, how would we maybe rephrase that? When I feel someone is trying to take my dignity from me, how can I resolve my feelings towards that situation? If you want to take a look at those. So this goes towards the self too, this good attitude and this warmness, because this is feeling very air, very rigid to me. And again, there's capacity for overthinking here, so it's important to show yourself that you care and show others that you care. And the same generosity that's here and the good attitude that's here, that needs to be applied to the self. Because you in order to take a leadership position, in order to do what needs to be done after knowing what needs to be done, we need to be taking care of ourselves. We need to be treating ourselves with dignity. Because I know there's that capacity to overwork and overextend, especially for these air types, because they see so much and try and do it all. And like vata in Ayurvedic medicine, that vata, you know that's an air body type. So folks who might struggle to eat, might be prone to overthinking, we need to be taking really good care of ourselves. All right, and that's it for today. Thank you everybody for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful week. Definitely hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for joining me. Bless.